She already knows that I'm going to ask her to go to that bed more than once, because I did it yesterday. Place. Oh, she doesn't know where to go. Look. She needs to look. 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 Look at this. Good girl. Hang on a second. I'm going to pause, put a pin in that. So, shh. This is okay because she's just getting here. But this is what we want to look out for. It's not good. I say a word like place, and she knows I'm asking her to do a command. So she's looking everywhere about where to go except me. And this is common with dogs that I see. Either get trained other places or haven't been trained. They don't know how to take direction very well. So when I say place, if you're confused, I need you to stop for a second, take those eyeballs and look at me, because I'm then going to point to the thing you're supposed to get on. But whenever you're confused, look at your handler and they can give you more information. This dog is looking for a thing to find without actually looking at me to see which one I want to go on, because there's a bed there, there's a couch there. What am I saying place to? And so this is my style. And I put a pin in it so that I could teach you. And of course it takes away from her for a second. But she's in that moment, and as soon as the dog's in that moment of, I want to do what he's saying, you've seen it, watch it, but I don't know what he's saying, that is the ideal moment for me to get the dog's attention and then point. So then the dog starts to learn, oh, if I look at him, he'll tell me where to go. And so that's how I do it. The dog understands a certain tone. If I say something like this with a tone up here, the dog, with one word and a certain energy to it, it's a command word usually. They're all said the same way. So she knows I'm trying to tell her to do something, she just doesn't know what. Now she needs to learn to look at me. This is how she learns to learn. I haven't taught her a place, but she knows it means something because somebody's done it with her. But she knows I'm asking because of the tone I'm using. Watch. Place. See? What I did, what's happening? And then, look. Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? She looked up. I point. Good. Now that's one experience. I'll add on that. I'll have her in a sit stay. I'll be away from her so she can see my whole body. I'll stay placed. There'll be multiple place beds. She won't know which one to get to. She'll look at me and I'll point to one. And she'll learn, this is another session. She'll learn to hear a command and look at me if she needs it to see what I'm saying visually. And that's going to take away that stress of, what command? Where am I going? It's like, well, no, I'm talking to you. I say place, you can simply look up and then see me point and then get on. That's what she'll learn. The dog will feel a lot less fussy when they learn how to learn. So this is all this is like stuff the dog needs to learn before I'm teaching the commands, or at least while I'm teaching the commands, to be aware to teach the dog these little mechanics of, look at me. You know, why do dog trainers teach the dog to look at you? It's obvious, because the dog needs to learn to pay attention to take the signals. Certain dogs, like dogs that come in, that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing dogs down here with their vision. They're down here with their vision when they're trying to figure stuff out. And the only time they look at a human is if they think the human has something for them, like food or a treat. They're not actually trying to figure it out by analyzing what the human's saying with 100% of their effort. Once we get that, then we get dogs who learn like this. They learn real quick. Here's a good girl. So let me just show you some troubleshooting on that. Break. You did a good girl. You did a good girl. So if I can get her to, I want her to see my body, right? So if I put her in a stay and then I say place. Sorry, we're not in the training room, we're in the garage. Hi, honey, darling. And I have two beds. This one's kind of put together. Like this. Come here, honey. I put her over here. Yes, dear. Okay. I put her over here. It could be on a sit, it can be a down. She's just staying over here. This gives her the good girl. Good girl. This gives her the chance to see me, my whole body. When you're holding a leash on a dog and you're trying to teach them and you're right here, this is the kind of stuff that causes this, right? Unless you're doing the good eye contact stuff. So, look at me after you look at her. Now, if I'm talking to her and she's directly in front of me and I say plays, wherever this finger is going, she's already listening because I'm saying the word good girl. Hey, hey, hey. That's a good girl. You did a wonderful job. She has to look at me to get the answer of which one I want her to go on. So this is how we can teach a dog. Ready? So when I say her name, it doesn't mean a command. It means to look at me, right? Olive. Place. Good. See how much better she did? Because I said her name, she looked at me, I said place, threw a finger down, she hopped right on. All the information was there, easy peasy, right? Good girl. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. This is why it's important to have the name of the dog mean to look at you. You don't have to use look at me if you do this right. The name of the dog should mean to look at you, but it shouldn't mean a command. A lot of people, if I said Ollie in that moment, what would have happened? If she wasn't through this training, she would have recalled. Her name means everything and nothing, because it means everything.
Or just not respond at all.
Or just not respond at all. It's her choice if she wants to, though, because she knows that word means her. But if I said Ollie, right, while she was over there, before training, she would have ran to me. And now that would have been a mess if I really needed my dog to get on the place bed, because now she just ran to me, and now she can't see me as well because she's looking at my fucking shins, you know? Versus being over there, I say her name, she just lifts her head up and says yes, and then I could either say, good girl, or I could say down again, you know, double down, or I could say, come, you know, place. She doesn't know what I'm gonna say, so if the name produces the dog to just kind of start shuffling through commands, that's not good. That's gonna fall apart in the real world. It's gonna be fussy. You'll get what you want, but it'll be fussy. You know, when it can be smooth. In that moment where she was panicking, if I could say, oh, Olive, she stops what she's doing and she looks at me, then I could give her the information, all of a sudden we're good. Okay? So the way the name thing works, the reason why it's messed up with every single dog that comes in here usually is because we say the name all the time. We say Olive, no, I don't like that. Olive, stop. Olive, no. And we also say, Olive, good girl. Olive, good girl. Olive, you want food? Olive, sit. Olive, down. Olive, come. Olive, 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 Olive. We don't have to do that. We have to say Olive once, and then the dog looks at us, and then we can have a conversation where I can just start saying, sit, down, no, yes, good, without ever using the name again. Unless the dog's disengaged from me, I can say the name, I get engagement, you understand? So by saying Olive, sit, good. Olive, down, good. Olive, come, good. That creates a problem, because then you get Olive, and then the dog starts shuffling through commands, because Olive is the first word of all of them. Olive, come is now one word. Olive, place is now one word. Olive, sit is now one word. And now I can look at that dog and I can say, Olive. And then if she has any inkling like I'm looking at her with disapproval, she's gonna shuffle through commands, right? Trying to guess based off her name. That becomes sloppy in the real world. It becomes sloppy. We need it clean. And it's this basic understanding that, like, this foundational, you gotta get the foundation right. But what we do is we don't work with puppies usually. We work with adult dogs who already have a bad foundation. That's why they struggle so much. That's why they're at a rehab program pretty much. They're at an extended board and train, 3 to 4 weeks, because they already have a belief system and it's not working. It's actually not doing good. Now we actually have to fight the old belief system, whereas we had an 8-week-old puppy, we raise it right, we don't have to fight an old belief system, we just create the one we want. Okay? Good. Olive. See? Did you see? Because we're battling the old. Now that, in this situation, if I'm sitting here eating or something, or if I'm sitting here, whatever I'm doing, and I say her name, I don't want her to guess the command. It becomes sloppy. It does. It becomes sloppy. In life. Olive. Good girl. Yes. I just want her to look at me and say yes. Yes, Josh, what would you like? You know? Olive. So just pointing out small moments that nobody ever notices because we're only worried about our dog barking and pulling and all this stuff. That's a communication error to me. Her name shouldn't mean come to me. Olive. Good girl. Attention, yes. Like if I'm talking to Julie, if I say Julie, if I expected you to come to me every time I said your name, she would be like, that's sexist. No, you just say I just say Julie and she looks at me and then I can say, could you come here for a minute? She doesn't just automatically assume because Josh spoke, I must recall to him, or I must sit or down or something, one of these. She's just going to say, yes, what do you want? It's the beginning of a conversation. And that's how it should work with a dog. Good girl. And it makes it a lot less sloppy. Olive. She's learning. Good girl. That's good. That's an intelligent dog. break. Instead of getting up, she said yes by looking at me, and then I told her what. So she's learning how to converse, and I know it seems like nothing, and it seems like we're wasting our time over here, but I'm telling you, when she gets all those little pieces that she's missing, she feels people interact with her, she's going to feel easier to communicate with. You know, she's going to feel like an easier dog to be around. She understands humans better, you know, and what's expected. Good girl. Come on over here. Let's start over here. Come on. You're such a good girl. Come here. Yes. What do we got for time?
We've been on for 45 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up then. Hey, honey. Good girl. Sit. We'll add that sit in there. Good girl. Stay. It's a good one. So this is the practice I can do. Olive. Place. Wrong one. Place. Good girl. And then I repeat the same thing when she gets on.
The more comfy one.
Good. And also the last one that I asked her to go on, so she wasn't thinking. She went on autopilot. She did not look at me. She had plenty of opportunity to look at me. She didn't. She looked at, go back to the footage. She's looking at me. I say place. Her eyes drop down. She looks at that bed. She runs over. She looks at that bed. She says, oh, I know this. This is where he just asked me to go. And it's like, no. See, you're assuming again. I'm actually pointing to this one. And these are the types of things that a dog learns to be able to do, and it makes a dog who can have better judgment, easier to direct. By the way, you're doing a good job. And this is very average mistake, normal mistakes, right? But this is how we learn to teach a dog to learn. Good. Break. That was good. See, she still feels like she did a good job. That was a good job. We'll try again now, okay? Okay, ready? Sit. Good. Stay. Now listen, once a dog gets this stuff, good girl. I ditch this. I don't keep doing this for days and days and days and days and days. I do it until they get what they understand the mechanics, they don't need it anymore, and then we don't ever do it again. Place. Okay, so correction. That was e-collar, that's got her to come over here. Good. Okay, now watch. Now this is experience stacking. Now we're going to be on the third one, and she's going to say, I got corrected for going on that one twice. She's going to have a hesitant moment, look at me, see me pointing, and then say, oh, and then get it right and realize, if I look at him, I get the answer right. If I'm not sure, if I double check, I get the answer right. Good girl. Break. Good job. Stay. Try it from way over here. Don't like that this one's. Okay. Place. Okay, good girl, but this isn't done. That was good, but you know, we got to really test her. I put her back, and this time I asked her to go to that one. You know, with minimal body language to make sure she's really paying attention. Good girl. Break. Place. Yeah, that's right. I think somebody's, see now she's running with more confidence. I think she's like, oh, I get it. I think she just had her breakthrough moment. We'll try it one more time. I think someone just did. Who was it? Was it you? Okay. Olive. Olive. Good girl. Break. That's what I like. That's what I like. Wait. Did you do a good girl today? Did you help? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did a good girl. Are you a tired girl? I need to tire you out. You need that mental exercise. Stay. Place. Good girl. Nice work. Sit. Good girl. Place. Good girl. Another thing we can do is when she's in that sit, one of these times, once this is easy, one of these times I'm going to say her name and it's going to look like I'm going to send her to place because that's what I've done every time, and I'm going to ask her down. You see how we can get a dog to really, you have to think. You can't, I'm asking the dog to actually listen to what's coming out of my mouth and look at my body. Don't just go off from autopilot. So I'm really getting her to think. that's gonna get it to all sink in. I know, she's tired. She's tired, almost an hour of just non-stop. Okay. Break. She says, I don't wanna break anymore. I wanna stay on the bed. Come on, good girl. Did mommy tell you this was vacation? Did she tell you she didn't tell you you were going to boot camp? She told you you were going on vacation? Stay. This is what happens with patterns. This is where you can, if you only do patterns, you know, the dog will fall apart. But this is the beauty of patterns. I set a pattern, so she's now, in her mind, she says he's going to send me to a place bed. But watch. Along the same root problem, she doesn't pay attention, she just guesses, I'm not gonna send her to a place bed. Olive. Down. Good catch. You see the blink? You see the blink? She goes, a little stutter blink. I'm seeing that a lot with dogs when I do this stuff. They think their mind's on one thing, I say another, and once they realize that, they do this like this quick blink, and it's just, and then they do the command, which is the best case scenario, good girl. What normally happens is I say down, and the dog literally runs to a place bed. Didn't even hear the word out of my mouth. And that just leads me to believe that that's the core issue. That's why dogs are struggling. They're not listening. They're not paying attention. Not to the degree they need to learn how. Good girl. Olive. Place. Good. So I will repeat this. This is new for her. This is a new thing she just learned. Tomorrow we repeat the new thing, okay? And we repeat it until it's not a problem. And then we add something new. Good girl.
And you can do that
little
live
triangle
tomorrow.
exercise.
You can do that live tomorrow in here.
Yeah, we can do this live tomorrow. Pick it up where we left off. It's like a triangle. You got a place bed, and then an open space over here. And so we can use all of our commands, really. We can get all of them. We can even heel the dog off the bed, wrap around, send them to this place bed. We can do sit, down, place. We can do them all with this little setup. But it makes the dog have to pay attention instead of guessing so much. And that's part of her problem. She's a sweetheart, but she doesn't really listen. And when she listens, she's not really listening. So she's learning, and she's becoming a good girl. Yes, you are. Olive. Break. That's more like it, girl. That's more like it, girl. Yes, and then we get to sending the place and stuff, and she has to learn to like look at the direction on my arm and kind of be able to guess what bed to go to. These things are important. If I walk into a room and the dogs are all over the place, if I say place and I point over here, I want the dog to head in that direction, to go into the bed that's in that direction. If I point there, I want them to go in that direction. And it's invaluable for me as a dog owner to be able to do that kind of stuff. Place. Boom. Throw her on that one. You know what I mean? Good girl. I love it. And you are. You're a sweetheart. I know we pushed you a little today, but you had a breakthrough. You did. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Just a little insight on day 4 and how we use that railroad track to start teaching heel, and then also how we need to teach a dog to start looking at us to take direction, and this little triangle exercise, okay?